Ahoy mateys, and welcome back to Screamingpirate EDC. Today we're going to do a full review, first one since Blade Show, Texas. Now if you've not been here for a full review before, I do a plunder or plank. Do I plunder the knife? Does it stay in the collection or does it walk the plank? So today we are going to be taking a look at the Tactile Knife Co Maverick. Now I picked this up at Blade Show, Texas. Really excited to get one in. There's only been a few reviews out here and hopefully I can give you guys into some insight on this knife before you pick one up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, so everyone has been talking about the Maverick from Tactile Knife Co. Very exciting, their very first Axis style lock. If you don't know, the patent for Benchmade and the Axis lock expired a couple years ago, and now everybody is basically trying to throw their hat into that game, including Tactile. Now, this is a waiting list. As far as I know, I don't think there have been any official drops. There might have been at a few dealers. I take that back. It might have been I saw one at like River's Edge Cutlery, but like very few have been released, mostly just at Texas as of right now. So this knife is definitely right in that quote ideal EDC range. So we're looking at like a 3.4-inch blade, about just under 4 ounces. Not too shabby. We do have a full flat here. It is not hollow ground, but everything here is American made, guys. So they do all the milling on the handles in-house. I know that the springs are a little bit thicker than standard Omega springs after talking to them. They are made, I believe, in Texas. And then their washers are kind of like a Chris Reeve style washer. So if you're familiar with that, it's essentially going to be a bronze washer with like holes milled around the outside and then obviously the center for the pivot. So very smooth opening and closing, guys. Not too bad on that front. So I'm going to get into some of the things I don't like about the knife after I do some size comparisons. I typically do. I want you guys to see this next to other knives because, I mean, most people haven't. So this is going to help you inform your purchase if you decide to pick up a Maverick. So up first, let's go ahead and do it against its brethren, as it were, from Tactile. Now, this is the Rockwall. I don't remember the patterning on this. It's like a bone pattern, and this is the DLC pattern on here. So there you go, next to a Rockwall. Definitely dwarfs the Rockwall in many ways, shape, or form, but that blade shape is almost identical, which I had not noticed till about now. After that, let's go ahead and grab the Bexar. So the Bexar is a slip joint, which is the second knife that Tactile did. This is in that same DLC and that same, like, I don't know, like bone patterning. Once again, the Rockwall pretty much dwarfs it. Much, much bigger, but wanted you guys to see that next to each other if you happen to have a Bexar. Now, let's go ahead and get into other Axis locks, because this is really where it's going to help you, and you know, you can see what it looks like next to its competition, as it were. So first up, I think the most logical one, because probably the most popular Axis lock right now, is going to be the Bug Out. So definitely bigger than a Bug Out, but not that much bigger in the handle, guys. Very similar in handle. There you go, both very good drop points. They are both full flat grinds. After that, the knife that I think this knife is trying to emulate definitely has to be the Benchmade Anthem. These two are terrifyingly similar in overall length. It is, at least to my eyes, guys. And they just really feel similar as far as like the milling and whatnot. It feels like they were trying to make a replacement Anthem, since Benchmade doesn't make the Anthem anymore. After that, let's go ahead and grab the next big guy on the block when it comes to Axis locks, and one of the first ones to do it out of the gate after the patent dropped. That's going to be the Hogue / Doug Ritter RSK1. Now, this is a KnifeWorks exclusive. And these are coming in significantly less than the Maverick. But you are seeing that the overall is not that dramatically different. And then finally, another new kid on the block doing an Axis lock is going to be Microtech. Now this is the MSI. This is a big boy. I wanted you guys to see the Maverick next to an actual like bigger knife. But there you go, the two new kids on the block next to each other. All right, guys, so all the size comparisons out of the way. Let's talk about this knife and some of the things I like and don't like. So ergonomically, it's phenomenal, especially with this contouring on here. It really does fit my hand very, very well. The deployment isn't bad. I can definitely do thumb. Let me see if I can reverse with a little bit of wrist, and then you can slow roll it open. There's not really a detent, so to speak, because it's really just these springs here, guys, and that bar, you know, kind of holding it in. Chamfering is very, very good, and there is no jimping, so to speak, besides the milling on the scale, which is really all you need. Torx is T8. And you know, obviously you get this nice hollow drop point. Now in and out of the pocket, I'm really not going to show that either, guys, because there's nothing for it to catch on your pocket. It's just the clip right there. So speaking of that, the clip is the first thing I really don't like about this knife. I don't truly understand these like stacked looking, I guess, standoffs. Like it just looks really weird, and it looks like the clip was an afterthought to me. Another thing that I'm going to bring up is at the show, I originally had, I think it's micarta, and the thumb studs were just spinning. And I was like, what is going on? Also, the handle scales, these are much better. I could physically touch them together, like worse than a bug out. And I was like, not for me. So I swapped into this one, paid a little bit extra. Now, with all that being said, guys, it's been said before, and I'm going to repeat what some other reviewers have said. The blade play on this is crazy to me. So I have it about where I like it, and I still can't really toss it closed. But there is, I'm going to get closer to the camera, a fair bit of blade play. If I tighten this down, I mean, it's damn hard to even open and close if I tighten it down. And if I loosen it up, the blade is just wiggling all over the place. Like, guys, this is the best I can get it to where it still can open and be usable. I really think that's something they got to work on, and it really kind of makes me worry about the knife and it, you know, maintaining function for a longer period. I'm going to put it that way. Now, do I like the materials? Do I like that it's in MagnaCut? Do I like all of that? Yeah. But it's just, that blade play really has me worried, and the fact that the thumb studs were loose on the other model, if you're going to get one, I say go for the tie. If you're okay with a little blade play, then you're okay with that. Because of some of those things, I'm on the fence on this one staying. I really am. I love the ergonomics. In fact, I think the ergonomics are better than what I got on the Anthem. Just because the Anthem it's good, but it's the action that's really good there. The ergonomics here are phenomenal. They're really, really good. The knife feels really good in hand, but I'll be honest, guys, even on the tie, if I like squeeze here, let's see if I can get this on camera for you guys, I can bend these scales. That's titanium that I'm bending. And I'm like, I've never been able to do that with a titanium handle knife, and that kind of worries me. So I'll be honest, guys, the knife probably isn't gonna stick around. Do I really commend Tactile for making everything in the US and being a new company? Hell yeah. Is it a cool design? Absolutely. Do I think you should pick one up? Maybe. That's entirely up to you. I liked it, I was excited about it, but the more I have it, the more it just doesn't thrill me, to be honest, guys. And for a knife to stay at this point, it really has to be exciting. So with that being said, guys, hopefully this was informative to you. Hopefully, you know, you gained some kind of information from the review. And with that being said, I'll catch you on the next one.